All right, first rule of this channel, we not talk about this channel. Second rule of this channel, this is not legal advice. So this is going to be Chasing the Dragon for week 11 heading into week 12. This is going to be the reactive waiver wire show. The number one guy right now, it does look like it's going to be Anthony Richardson. I went and looked it up. Yahoo is like 48% of leagues, I think it said. This is going to be available out there. I don't know how competitive your league is. I could definitely see the argument being made that he was dropped. I think he was dropped in my more competitive league. In my less competitive league, he wasn't. So again, if he's available after what he did, I probably would be attacking that. Two rushing touchdowns, one passing touchdown. And again, remember, this is also very important getting ready for the playoffs to be blocking other people. Like, even if you're in good shape from a quarterback perspective, letting, a league winner go, is probably like a very bad idea. So again, even if he doesn't actually do anything for you the rest of the year, he should probably be doing that at the bottom of your bench instead of being a league winner someplace else or someone else's lineup for the rest of the year. So that's generally the biggest guy that's out there right now would be Anthony Richardson. And then the other thing is Isaiah Pacheco. If he was dropped in your league, it does look like he may actually be activated week 12, which again, this is all stuff that's a little surprising to me. I could understand him getting dropped. I didn't think he was going to play again this year, or at least from a fantasy perspective, play again this year. And it does look like he might actually play this week. So, ramping up for conversation for league winners, like these are the two guys, Anthony Richardson, Isaiah Pacheco. And again, I think I looked it up on Yahoo. It says like 98% rostered. I don't necessarily believe that outside of like really hyper competitive leagues, whether or not he should be held on to, that's out there. I could definitely see that he was dropped, especially after the Kareem Hunt signing that was out there. Defenses right now, and there are a lot of teams that are going to be on buys. You're looking at the Falcons, the Bills, the Bengals, the Saints, the Jets, and the Jaguars this week. So this is maybe the big week when it comes to the bye weeks from a fantasy perspective. Written down in my notes right now, the Buccaneers going against the Giants. Like this is going to be very interesting with Tommy DeVito taking over for the starting quarterback for the Giants. I wouldn't necessarily go like this is the one that I would pay for, but this is one of the streaming ones that would be available with the Buccaneers going up against the Giants. The Giants may be in full tank mode right now. The Redskins going up against the Cowboys, especially after again, another outing with Cooper Rush that did not look particularly good. He looked a lot better than last week, but not the ones that I would be necessarily spending on out there. The Chiefs, if they got dropped because some leagues, like, the guys don't hold on to two defenses. The Chiefs just got done playing the Bills. I could definitely see that they're available. They're going to be rolling against the Panthers this week. Texans, they should not be available in any leagues. On the off chance that the Texans are available, yeah, you should be scooping them up, going up against Will Levis. And then finally, the Broncos right now going up against the train wreck. It's the Raiders. Like, the Broncos would be probably the bigger available streaming defense if they were dropped in some way, shape, or form this week going on out there. All right, moving on to some of the other guys that are available that I think are going after, like Jonnu Smith. Normally I would say like no, and I've actually said no, don't chase Jonnu Smith. 81% snaps, 8 targets. And generally speaking, especially because of the buys, I could definitely see chasing this and being a little aggressive on it, especially if I've been missing on tight ends. I don't know how much I would trust any of this, but from the standpoint of, do I need a 1 week rental after this bye week? This is the kind of the point of the show, is like to be chasing that dragon. Yeah, I probably would be chasing this a little bit with the expectation that he's a tight end and he can break my heart. This would be, of course, if Taysom Hill's not available. I don't know what competitive leagues would be out there where Taysom Hill is not available out there right now. Let's see, bringing this one up. So, Taysom Hill, if he's available, this should stay relatively consistent with the wide receiver situation for the Saints. So, you're going to get a certain amount of, Taysom Hill the rest of the way. This would be a league winner. I don't know why. He shouldn't have been available. He was chasing the dragon 2 weeks ago. I don't know why he would be available. If he's available, yeah. This would be another one of the league winners that would be available out there. Parker Washington, with the news that Gabe Davis is going to go on IR with a meniscus. So, probably not looking for anything more than a wide receiver 3 out of Parker Washington. But right now, the pickings are going to be fairly slim out there. He's going to slot all the way probably. I don't know if I would go as far as say he's going to be the number 2 wide receiver in that offense, but they're just, this is another one where there just isn't anybody else that's going to be available out there. He may be more the number 3 behind like Evan Ingram. He may even be the number 4 behind like Evan Ingram and Brenton Strange the rest of the way. But this would be the guy. Like if you need the guy with that theoretical ceiling of a wide receiver 2 for the rest of the way, like that would be Parker Washington. That's going to be available out there. And that would be if, and I'll bring this one back up, that would be if like the Browns wide receivers aren't available. Your Jerry Jeudy's, coming off of 11 for 6 for 142 and a touchdown. And then Elijah Moore did 8 targets also in the game. If he's available, I'd be going after those 2 guys probably before Parker Washington. But again, I don't know how competitive your league is. That's the guys that I would be going after that are available out there. If you're wondering about, and I'll bring these guys back up, MVS, his snaps were actually up. There's Nick Westbrook-Akine. I'll talk about Nick Westbrook-Akine first because I can find him. 6 for 2 for 117 and a touchdown. There was like 90-something air yards on this one, 85% snaps. I talked about this already. He should have been rostered probably after the DeAndre Hopkins trade. Guys like this that are going to be on the field this much, they're going to have a certain amount of spike weeks. Probably in that wide receiver 3 range. Again, this is just depending on how deep your league is. You're probably getting like 12-man league and deeper with bye weeks. Like you're looking at him. MVS on the other hand, if I can go find him right there, Marquez Valdez-Scantling. Again, I don't trust him. I'll never trust him. 65% snaps. That's up. 4 for 2 for 87 and a touchdown. That's what you're generally chasing with MVS. And again, within the range of outcomes is an absolute 0. Just so we're all clear on this. Yes, can he have 40-degree days, spike weeks within his range of outcomes, especially with the situation going on with the Saints? Yeah. Would I be rolling him out, week 13? Probably not. Because the other thing, this is probably only going to last until Bub Means comes off of IR, and then maybe we can start talking about like other places those targets are going to go between like Taysom Hill and MVS and whoever else that they have. Mason Tipton was actually a surprise healthy scratch in that offense. And then whatever's going on with Chris Olave. So again, these are just like 1 week rentals again, but again, know what you're going up against. Like you might have to be rolling some of these guys at the bottom of your bench as a block that are going on out there. I want to make sure. And then the last guy that I will bring up, if I can find him, Kendrick Bourne. I probably would not be chasing this. Again, 47% snaps in this offense. Like if there's a guy in this offense I would be chasing, trying to catch that spike week, it would be Boutte. But like 47% snaps, like that's generally something that I would say, like, I don't know how sustainable that's going to be. I'm just looking at my notes right now, see if there's anybody else to be chasing that's out there. Dylan Laube, he would probably be the biggest like lottery ticket if you need a 1 week rental and you're looking at like maximum upside right now. He hasn't been active since he fumbled, in week 6. But again, if we're trying to tell that story, chase the metrics and the stuff that we can observe right now, it's either him, and I am bringing this up, or 31-year-old Amir Abdullah that you'd be looking at like rolling out there. Alexander Madison went down with an ankle, and Zamir White went down with a quad. So the other guy that you'd be chasing in a bad offense is Amir Abdullah. 34% snaps in this game. The general reason why I would say I probably would be looking at Dylan Laube, he's a 6th-round draft pick, one of the better receiving running backs coming out of the draft, would be because the Raiders season is over, and if they're going to give the keys to a guy for 1 week rental and say like, hey, are you worth building around? It would be this week when it comes to Dylan Laube. So like you got to be in like bad shape, but this was probably going to be the guy that we could tell the story that's going to have like the biggest upside out there right now from a running back perspective. The 2 other guys, like these are more lottery tickets. These are like low end running back 2s that you're trying to like get lucky and have them fall into the end zone. Jalen Wright's snaps were up with against Raheem Mostert. You're mostly going to be guessing that again, like something happens where they can fall in the end zone. He's up to 26% snaps. The Raiders game was like generally closer than the score would indicate in this one. Raheem Mostert, I do think he had like 3 red zone carries. I don't have my notes pulled up right now. So again, this would be dart throws, lottery tickets, desperation RB2s. In my main money league, I did, or not my main money league, my high school league, I did roll out Audric Estime and got burned this week. And I bring this up because like I was looking at some of the other guys that I could have been rolling out in that league, and I don't think I would have guessed on anybody within the range that were available. So like these guys, at least we could tell the story. Like, he gets a red zone carry attached to the Dolphins offense this week, and he falls into the end zone. Can you guess that ahead of time with a slight uptick in snaps? Yeah, we can talk about that. Same thing with Blake Corum in this one, like a guy that maybe we could have told the story was going to be like an RB2 to start the season. Now he's working into his role. Get a slight uptick to 19% snaps, 5 for 21. And this was a close game. This did come down to like the end of the game. So this was not a blowout by the Rams. Another 1 for 7. Like he is eating his way slowly but surely into the Rams lineup. He did have an actual red zone carry. So again, like these guys are, yeah, we can tell the story how they're league winners in a way that some of the other guys aren't going to be available out there. And I think that's about it. Like a couple other ones that I would kind of talk about, like Noah Gray did have 2 touchdown catches. I'll talk about this in after waivers again. Like we could tell these guys are going to be on the field, and eventually they're going to have spike weeks. That's what the process is. Like, hey, when you get a snap share up between like 50 and 70%, like yeah, it's going to happen eventually. And then some of the other ones, like Will Disley, there were air yards available, but I don't like the 57% snaps. And this was with the other Charger tight end that I'm just drawing him like not Hunter Henry. I don't know why I can't think of this right now. It'll bother me. Hayden Hurst was out. Hayden Hurst with a healthy scratch, and then with Hayden Hurst out, they still only had Will Disley do 57% snaps in this one, and again the touchdown was like a 40-yarder. It was a seam ball. So I don't know how much I would really be wanting to chase that for the future if you're wondering on all that stuff. See if there's anybody else available. I did see that Jake Ferguson did go down with a concussion. I don't know how consistent that's going to be, and I didn't even necessarily talk about that too much because of the script in this Cowboy game. Again, like Cooper Rush was better in the game, and I haven't watched any of the tape on this yet. This is just my internet actually went down and now it's back up. But in general, like I don't know how much I would necessarily want to be chasing the Cowboys offense with Cooper Rush as the starting quarterback. So even if we can guess on how much time that Jake Ferguson is going to miss a week, like Luke Schoonmaker, like 10 targets, 6 for 56 and a touchdown. I don't know on that one. This would be a big I don't know because of the concussion and then attached to the offense that he's attached to right now. So anyway, that's about all I got right now for Chasing the Dragon, and do have most of my notes. Tomorrow's probably going to be a shorter day when it comes to after waivers. We already basically know a lot of stuff that's going on, so it's more sit starts type stuff than it is like chasing anything for the rest of the wave. So anyway, that's about what I got, and I'll see you guys hopefully tomorrow.